So some of the skills that we had worked on last class where he missed out on it because he had a tummy upset is we warmed up with a little bit of some name recognition, so the name cookie. So we'll go through a few of the skills. If any of them don't make sense, check back in with me. So for name cookie, we normally recommend have the puppies sort of focused a little bit on you, toss the item away, have them go search for it, and this would be on leash or off leash in your home. And then again, Harley, and we feed him for that check-in. So name recognition could be used with that find it. You could also wait for a moment where he's not looking at you, let him get distracted and see if you can say his name and have him bounce into your zone. So let's say from here to work those lovely eye contact moments, you can again pick whichever slogan's good for you guys. So I would have watch me or look or focus for eyes on me. So let's say I'm losing Mr. H again. Yes. So you'll see that's also the positive interrupter, which is a little kissy noise, can help them bounce back. So from Mr. H, I'm going to go right into his little sniffer, get his attention. I'm going to bring him up to my eyes and go look, and then yes to feed. If I lost him at any point, I would restart the behavior. So if, let's pretend he got distracted, he looked away, back to his little sniffer, up to your eyes, look, and then yes. So remember, all of these documents are also, they were sent along in the very beginning when you started the puppy class versus the doggy day school. But all of the students did get these in either some form of check-in with me. So like they were a puppy class student or they were also maybe a one-on-one private student before becoming a doggy day school student. So for the handsome guy, ready? Harley, yes. So gorgeous little name recognition, give him a little crumb. So we were also working with some of those puppy push-ups earlier. He was a little bit distracted because I think he had to go potty last time. So when you're working on trying to get a down position from your puppy, you can do it a couple different ways. So one, you can lower and see if you can get them to lower their body. If he's a little bit unsure, I'd recommend to just keep the food low and feed for any attempt. So right here, so close, I'm going to feed for that. And then I'm going to give him a little bit more as he starts to lower potentially into the full down. If, again, you only do what's called shaping, which is, again, feeding for the beginning stages but not the full behavior, perfectly okay. So Harley, yes. So great little name. He's like, no, we're going to wrestle. And he's, of course, a little uncomfortable. He's figuring out how to wear that lovely harness and get more in the groove with it. Ready, sir? So if, let's say in the beginning, downs are hard for him, what I sometimes like to do is use my leg and create a little bit of a tunnel. If he's a little bit unsure, Harley says, bye, lady. Ready? He's like, what are we doing? Ready to do a little find it? He's like, I thought we were going to wrestle. He's going to go romp and wrestle by himself. So if there's moments where you're working a certain skill with your puppy and they're having a little bit of a hard time, he is, again, getting towards the end of the day, so he is getting a bit fatigued. He might also have to go out for a quick little pee break once again. Because when they're little, I find that you may have them out for an hour, bring them out for a little potty, make sure they're empty, then they go in for another nap, then they come out for another little moment, and they go back and forth. What is it, Ebba? Nothing. He said he might have to go out for a potty, so I might have to bring him out in a minute. Harley, come. Yes. Go boy. Here you go. Go check it out. So for this handsome guy, if downs are just not happening instantly, don't worry. As I mentioned, you could try and get him to go under a piece of furniture or use, for example, your leg as an option. You can, of course, sometimes just kind of try to wait it out, see if he lowers, and then feed for the attempt. So right here, very close, I gave him a couple little crumbs for the try. So I'm going to do a little find it just to get him up again. Get his attention. So we might go into a little, ready, sit. He's like, hold on, my brain melted. There we go, right there, yes. So again, we're using the food to create the behavior, and we're hoping that, again, he'll sort of fall into the position, and we'll get it from there. Right there, yes. So very good. So if he's a little bit unsure, I do like to sometimes do a little jackpot where I'm releasing one little snack after another for his attempted lovely little down position. So you want to break it down where each behavior has a reinforcement moment. So if we're working for an SIT, we're going to bring the food up and above sit, and then yes to feed. Then from there, we're going to lower our food to the ground, see if we can get that lovely down, and then yes and feed. Wonderful. So, and then from there, we were working also with a stand, which is to get your puppy into a standing position. So I'd recommend think about your puppy as a seesaw. Are you trying to get over here, Hippo? Do you want some help? All right, 1 second. So if you're working with your puppy, make sure to think about them like a seesaw. So if, let's say, they are looking at your hand, it's going up and above them, you might either get a sit or a jump. If you're getting a jump, it might be because your hand is doing this behavior and they're trying to follow that hand. So I would recommend that in the beginning, keep the hand at level with the puppy so you can help them go from one position to the next. So I'm just going to grab his leash for a second because Ebba wants to come join us. She's going to grab his leash from back here. And then I will let my little one come join. Are you going to come hang out with us for a minute? Okay. All right. Awesome. Here, can you stop pulling on the fence and I'll help you?
He's trying to get out.
Yeah, but you can't if there's a fence. So again, for Mr. Handsome, I just switched him back onto his leash. So if, let's say, he got a little too excited, I could help him through some of the practice while Ebba's nearby. So we were working on some puppy push-ups just a second ago. So again, with your puppy, even on equipment, you can still try and rock this. So I'm just waiting for that lovely body to hit the ground. He's like, no, I'd rather wrestle now. So if, let's say, you're trying to work a certain skill, but your puppy's maybe not feeling it. No, we're not going to wrestle right now. No, we're not going to wrestle. Hippo, we're not going to play right now because we're working with the puppy for a few skills. So sometimes littles will have their own opinions too as to what to do. So I would recommend that sometimes as your children or your grandkids or whoever's nearby is doing something, notice I'm keeping Mr. Handsome busy by doing some find its or some other behaviors instead. So even though she's being a nice little distraction, we want our handsome guy to realize that just because she's here, nice, doesn't mean that she has to be the focus point. So now we're starting to get some focus back on me and the skills that we'd rather, which could be, again, Harley, a little bit with name recognition or some sits or some find its. He's like, lady, help me. She's crazy. No, she's a lovely lady. So again, we're going to feed. But Ebba, can you maybe just do a little walking back and forth versus a twirl? So we don't want to get him dizzy. Okay? So if your puppy's jumping, this is typically also a little bit of a stress signal. He might be a little overwhelmed with this wild woman doing her thing around us. So Ebba, can you please do a little bit more walking? Because we have to be a listener when you're helping Mama, okay? Are you going to be a helpful listener? Okay, let's walk around instead of doing circles, okay? Because you could get dizzy too. Well, either way, I'm getting dizzy. So can you please just walk nice? All right, maybe Ebba's also getting tired and can't quite help out today. All right, well, let's use our little listening ears and help Mama, okay? So if, for example, your puppy's ever given you a hard time, they're having a hard time. So if you're finding he's not doing as well, it's more than likely, and there goes the train, so a good little noise distraction, it's more than likely he needs a break or a reset. So and he might also, again, as I mentioned earlier, go out for a little potty break again, because being so little, he might go out every hour to hour and a half, especially if he has a free access to sometimes water and obviously food throughout the day with his 3 meals a day. But this is a very nice little check-in. It's a beautiful little default sits he's offering, which is splendid. So we'll give Mr. Handsome a little breather, and we'll sneak him out. Oh, Ebba, can you please get away from the camera? You're maybe blocking it. All right, and then his little friend is also singing a little song. Good job, Mr. Handsome. So we'll give him a little breather, and we'll bring him on out for a little potty.